Welcome to the Retirement DNA Podcast. I'm Aaron Johnson. We believe you deserve financial advice based on your best interest. In our podcast, we discuss all aspects of retirement planning. And today we want to talk a little bit about how to help increase your confidence through retirement. And we're here talking about all things retirement because we want to help you retire confidently. We're going to break down some of the things that you can do to potentially improve your situation so that you're one step closer to being ready to retire or being more secure in your current retirement. Studies show that your retirement income needs to be at least 70% of what it was pre-retirement to last throughout retirement. You want to be able to make that much money without worrying about how the market is going to affect you. And we're going to look at different forms of payments that won't fluctuate with the market. So many of those that retired before 2008 and even maybe before 2006 had what the financial industry calls the three-legged stool, which was the model for retirement back then. Leg one was Social Security, and if it's a married couple and they had both worked, they would have Social Security, which lasts their lifetime. So they have guaranteed income for life through Social Security. The second leg of that three-legged stool is a pension. And back then, many folks used to have a pension. Additionally, if one spouse were to die before the other, 100% of that pension transfers to the other spouse. So both individuals have guaranteed income for life through, the husband or the wife's pension. So between Social Security and the pension, they may have already reached that 70% or even maybe 75% of their pre-retirement earnings, including adjustments for inflation. So leg number 3 of the stool is personal savings. Their 401k or 403b or 457 or IRAs. The idea was that this was the fun money. You want to go on a trip? Use this money. Want to buy a car? Use this money. You want to protect yourself with health care or set aside something for an inheritance, you would use this extra money. And many retired with all of this already kind of built into their plan. When I started working in the financial services industry and being an advisor in 2003, 90% of the families that visited me had this kind of retirement plan. They would tell me that between their pensions and Social Security, they're able to live a comfortable life. And typically what worried them the most was figuring out what to do with the 401k or IRA. They wanted to make sure that it was going to be there, and they didn't want to pay major taxes on it. But that's really what they were concerned about, was those two things. So how does that compare to the situation of people retiring today? Now, some argue that Social Security is no longer a stable leg of retirement planning. I think that those people are mainly just trying to scare you, especially in the media. If nothing else, we can be confident that our government officials want to get reelected. If anything ever happened to their voters' Social Security, I think they'd just get booted out of office by the angry voters in that next election cycle. So I don't think anything is really going to happen with Social Security. There may be some cuts for those individuals not taking it, or kind of in their 40s or below. But I think you can safely assume that Social Security will be a stable leg of your stool. The problem is with the second leg, the pensions. Pensions have almost vanished. It started back in the mid-2000s, and it happened almost overnight. In 1 year, it went from 90% of the people who came in to see us or see me having their lifestyle covered by pensions and Social Security to now 90% of the people coming in had very little pension or no pension at all, and they were in trouble. They needed their IRAs and 401ks to replace that pension and generate income. It's a tough situation to be in, and that's what's going on today. Now, if you're in California and you have CalPERS or CalSTRS to cover, people working for the state or the public school system, if you're not in that position, you may find yourself with only Social Security and whatever you've put into your 401k. So now you have a two-legged stool, if you will. A report that I mentioned previously in another podcast by Goldman Sachs proposes a way to solve this. So I was interested to see what they had to say because I also have an answer. I've been working to solve this problem for, basically 20 years now. And I've been implementing annuities within retirement plans. I advise most people to take some, not all, but some of their retirement savings and use it to buy a guaranteed principal annuity to help replace that pension leg of their three-legged stool. Goldman Sachs, along with kind of their brethren and the big folks on Wall Street like Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley and UBS and Wells Fargo, Fidelity, Vanguard, they don't often utilize annuities. Why is that? Well, if you invest in an annuity that is not with their company, that means you're taking away from their management. And in my opinion, they want that money to stay with them so they can get paid their fees. But as baby boomers started retiring, firms like Goldman Sachs started to see a groundswell of money leaving their management, leaving their coffers and moving over to insurance companies because people wanted to have a guaranteed portion in their income. And so that brings us to this article by Goldman Sachs. They say that one of the things that you can do now to potentially protect your income in retirement, to enjoy a more stable retirement, to be part of that 25% of people who can retire with an income that's 70%, is to put part of that with an insurance company, right? They're finally coming around to see this. Kind of a crazy idea, right? It's becoming a bigger trend for these money management firms to suddenly start recommending some of the money into an annuity because they're throwing in the towel. They know that annuities are doing such a good job of providing that income that instead of fighting it, they may as well get on board with it. So there's finally healthy acknowledgement of annuities out there. And there are a huge difference among annuity companies and the types of annuities. And it's important to make sure that you're picking the right one for you. Our office, because we are completely independent, has the freedom to choose from a variety of annuity companies, but also of different types of annuities. And really, there's only about 1% to 2% of all the possible annuities that we would recommend to people. Most annuities will probably get you through retirement fine, but there are a select few that are kind of the cream of the crop, if you will, and could potentially treat you and your money well. When you're choosing an annuity, you want to talk with someone who's experienced enough to kind of help you evaluate all those different options. It's sort of like if you walk into a Ford dealership looking for a truck, the Ford dealer is going to tell you that the best truck for you is a Ford truck. Maybe even if Chevy would suit you better. And likewise, the Chevy dealer is going to tell you to buy a Chevy truck, even though you might be better off with a Ford. What if there was a car dealer who represented every car and truck type on the market and every brand available, right? They're going to pay attention to what your needs are and point you to the vehicle that makes the most sense for you and that fits you and your needs. If you're heading into retirement and no one's talked to you about the benefit of annuities and some of the options, then you're probably at the wrong dealer. So if you want to seek for more income, more secure income, and aim to protect what you have, or you don't feel good about your retirement, give us a phone call. We want to help. So give us a phone call at 951-244-6702. We'll get a personalized retirement plan put together for you. It's free. There's no obligation. We want to help you help guide you through retirement, and so that you can have a secure retirement. Our goal at the Dwayne Johnson Group and Bridger Financial Services is to make sure that our clients know that they can make it to and through retirement and can spend with confidence during those years. We want to make sure that they have financial security in any economy. We help good people make great decisions so that they can enjoy an amazing retirement. So thank you for listening to the Retirement DNA podcast today. If you have any questions or would like to sit down with us for an initial consultation, or just to see if you're on track to meet your secure retirement, give us a phone call, 951-244-6702. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to the podcast. Tell your friends and family if you think that they would benefit from the information as well. And you can always check us out at DwayneJohnsonGroup.com or BridgerFinancialServices.com. Thank you, and have a great day.
Investment advisory services offered through Bridger Financial Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of California. Insurance products and services are offered through Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC, affiliated company. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Dwayne Johnson Group, LLC.